Yo, this chapter, there were three striking, just oh my fucking god, moments with this chapter of Tokyo Ghoul. The first one you already know, that ending, dude. SEIDO. TAKIZAWA SEIDO in his new warped, twisted, one-eye, white hair, black fingernail Ghoul mode appears at the auction. Just cleanly decapitates this dude, just swipes his head off of his shoulders with one swoop of his arm and just kind of holds it above him. As you see the blood dripping down, he's like, oh, you're like a freshly picked pineapple. I'm like, holy shit, his mentality is so warped and far gone, okay? It's so tragic. I said this last week, but the SEIDO that we came to know, all vestiges of that persona, because he was always a very fragile person, have been utterly dominated by the Ghoul essence. He's lost it. There clearly implies some torture. And I want to quickly reference something with my review last week, because a lot of people keep hitting me up and still are hitting me up, even though I tried to clarify it. The white hair theory surrounding Arima, SEIDO, and Kaneki and everything like that, that was just some random shit to throw out there. I wasn't 100% locked onto that. I just thought of it on the spot, wanted to see how people felt about it. Personally, in terms of the white hair transformation, I agree with all those proponents who are like, this is, the Marie Antoinette syndrome, stress causing physical changes such as these in the human body. So I'm guessing that SEIDO, in addition to being twisted and, experimented on by Eto and Kano, was also tortured in a similar way that Kaneki was. If, for example, potentially Naki was taking up, his master's work and going in the twisted torture room. That's just one example. Either way, there's some link that fuses these characteristics that SEIDO has and, that mirror Kaneki's transformation and his characteristics. And, at the very least, the white hair from the shift between Arima in his youth and the Arima we have now indicates some serious cataclysmic event that altered his physicality. So, at the very least, there's that. Plus the Kaneki comparisons, the Sasaki comparisons keep getting built up with this chapter, with last chapter between Arima and himself. So, I like to see that. The next fucking crazy, absolutely, oh my goodness, dude. Akira is going in like a fiend, dude. These faces. Last chapter with her eyes just fucking, that one eye kind of wider, the other one squinted out. Like straight up like her father Mado, dude. In these fucking twisted faces that she has right now. I'm like, she's not fucking playing games out here. Akira has seriously progressed. And I think that the weight that she's carrying around from having, lost Amon and SEIDO and everybody, which it'll be fucking crazy and interesting to see a reunion between SEIDO and Akira and see how she reacts to that. She's gonna break her. It's really going to make her in a very distraught state, as well as get the CCG thinking about the rest of the bodies that have gone missing since the end of part 1 and potentially, the same thing having been done to them. So it's going to really get them thinking more so about the fact that Aogiri is continuing to play with this one eye thing and Kano is there lurking behind the scenes. So that's going to be interesting. But Akira just going in against Naki. She's like, I mastered the Fueguchi. It took me a year of training, but I'm going in with, it's like an extension of my body. It's like moving a finger. She's easily beasting him. You see the girl, Mika, or Misa, I believe her name is, the triple, blade Mika, and she's basically like, girl, if it'll be a problem for me if Naki dies. And she's like, well, Akira's like, I'll kill him right now. Then I'm like, dude, she's going hard. She's going so hard. And you see, she says something very interesting to Naki. And she's basically like, you're stuck in the past. You haven't moved on from Jason. And you see him contemplating that. And another one of these breakdowns that Naki is pretty much characterized by and known for. He's basically like, my strength, my revenge, everything that I have, to hold on to is in the past. I can't move forward, and he's really grappling with this. And as that happens, as he's doing that, you see all the gunfire from the other investigators coming in, and his two bodyguards with the masks and their own individual Jason masks just sacrifice themselves. Gaki and I forget the other one's name sacrifice themselves for him, and you just see Naki's characteristic breakdown, just the tears streaming down his face. And honestly, as warped and twisted and fucking insane as Naki is, as a result of worshipping the fiend Yamori, as fucked up as he is, I do feel for him. I really do, because he's lost everything he's held dear at this point. and to be told that, you know, the strength that is all you have to hold on to, and the vengeance and this quest, you know, to go in and pay homage to your master is nothing more than, you know, shambles and in the past by Akira. I do feel bad for Naki, but he is fucking crazy, so we'll leave that as an A. Akira went in. That's the moral of the story. The last main crazy little event that setup that took place was with Roma and Uta. You see this first class, you know, squad leader, investigator, this younger version who, you know, Shimaguchi is kind of commenting on. He's like, it's all up to you and the younger generation now, like to see such talent like this. And, you know, the other dude that gets decapitated at the end who's talking about Arima, which I'll get back to in a second, they're really, you know, vaunting the young generation of, you know, CCG investigators and everything like that. And this dude's going in, you see him get a slash in on Roma, and let me be clear right now, because people know how I feel about Uta. Okay, I love Uta. I don't give a fuck. The pierrt reveal, while he is twisted, while he's fucking insane, he's a prick, he's an asshole, he's a bastard, honestly, for having a straight face and a smile on his face, him and Hattori, while associating with Renji and Kaneki in part 1, all the while, you know, being behind the scenes and fucking with shit. I still love him. It just made him all the more badass, especially with his backstory and everything. I love Uta, okay? The clowns as a whole, Pierrot, I don't dislike them. I think they're fuckers that need to get a little taste of what they truly deserve, but I don't dislike them. Roma is the most annoying one to me, honestly, and I still don't dislike her. I'm just like, yo, she's fucking fiendish. Okay, she's fucking fiendish. She gets a slash off and she's like, oh no, falls back, just pierces this dude, utterly destroys him with her Kagune, dude. And you see the blood dripping down, she's just slurping it up with this cackling laughter, just like, ha 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 ha. I'm like, oh my god, Roma. Fucking every time I see Pierrot do something, I just think about what they used to do in part 1 back before the reveal, like Roma just being in Anteku, dropping, you know, fucking cups left and right. I'm like, this fucking twisted bitch just going and flipping around them. And you see Uta coming because she's about to get pierced, but I think she would have been fine regardless. Uta comes in and takes the blow, and he's like, yo, Hirako. I'm like, Hirako's there, oh shit. And you see Uta, he's like, you picking on this innocent girl and me? Yo, Hirako, what's up, man? And you see Hirako and Uta staring each other down. I'm so hype for it. I don't care if they go in against each other. I want the dialogue. I want the exposition, because if you remember, Hirako and Arima, back when they were partnered together in the past, one of their most major assignments in history was the extermination of the clown gang in the 24th Ward. Okay, so you can assume there's a history with Uta being the leader of the last vestiges of Pierrot. You can assume there's a history between Uta and, you know, Hirako, as well as Uta and Arima. We know Uta and Arima have a history through the whole Renji backstory anyway. Okay? So I'm really interested to get the dialogue. And it seems like Hirako's like, what the fuck? Like it seems like Hirako knows, you know, who is behind this mask, so to speak. So it's gonna be fucking hype to see at the very least how they interact with each other. Now, other things we have going on in this chapter. We have a nice bit of setup. I'm disappointed that the Ayato versus Juuzou fight just breaks off so readily. I wanted to see a little bit more of it going, but at the very end of the day, you know, Juuzou wasn't at full power. You know, he didn't have his Quinque, and Ayato was more concerned with, you know, managing his supporters. You know, he's concerned with you know, Naki at this point. He's concerned about Hinami, and he has to protect, you know, Big Madam. That's his mission. So they were both not really going in 100%, and I still wanted to see more of the sparring and everything go down, but whatever, it breaks off. That's the only thing I'm really kind of disappointed with, but otherwise, you know, they have their roles to play. You see Juuzou, you know, remembering his promise to Sasaki and trying to, you know, find Mutsuki and everything like that. You see Ayato going out to protect Big Madam. So there's that. The beginning page of this chapter, we actually see Mutsuki, and she's basically like, is this gonna heal? And yes, I still call Mutsuki a girl, because to me, Mutsuki is a female. Alright? Done. Like, is this gonna heal? And everything like that, and she's like, I can't breathe. Seems like she's fading in and out of consciousness and everything like that. And you see her kind of recounting some of her memories and how people kind of perceived her after the incident. Because from what we've got on Mutsuki's backstory so far, you know, apparently her family was killed by ghouls and everything like that, and she was taken in CCG. But in this, you see that she's being characterized as somebody who is being blamed for her family's death. She's like, she killed this cat and her family. I'm really interested to see what the extent of this dialogue is, and if that's just how people characterize her as being involved in her family's death. You know, the ghouls actually coming after her, and her family died protecting her, or if she actually had a more serious hand in it. Because you see, all she really wants is to be reunited with her family, and on top of that, struggling with her, you know, whole gender identity issues and everything that's going on within him and her. And I'm really interested to see what happens with Mutsuki. Like, I really will be sad if she dies right here. But it definitely still will remain a catalyst for Sasaki to fucking go in and grapple with, you know, the Kaneki persona and the Setup persona. So, a lot of stuff going on, a lot of setup, and SEIDO being on the scene. That shit's just gonna be insane. And the last thing I want to talk about, though, because some people just don't know how much I love Arima in the past. And I love the dialogue that this one investigator, before he gets his head fucking ripped off by SEIDO, is talking about. He's like, people, the envy and jealousy that the CCG has of Arima, and just what they saw when they were confronted with this true genius. It was truly as though they were in the presence of a god. You're just seeing these panels of young Arima with these fucking beast, you know, cool and crazy faces, and I'm just like, dude, I love that old Arima design. Like, I really do love childlike Arima design. Like, the artwork that Ishida does in Jack of Arima is some of my favorite, in all honesty. And it was just beast to see that mid-chapter and to, you know, further build the comparisons between Sasaki and Arima. So a lot of stuff going on. The thing I'm most hyped for is to see the dialogue between Uta and Hirako. But on top of that, you know, you have Sasaki still moving in further and further into the auction grounds, and there's definitely, he's gonna confront somebody, whether it be Ayato, whether he meets up with Hinami, whether he finds Mutsuki first, so, you know, SEIDO, potentially wherever SEIDO's gonna go. I want either him, you know, I think that it's best suited for Akira to see SEIDO and for it to have the most impact. But we'll see how that goes. And, you know, just so much B shit going on. I'm sorry, like, this arc has been insane, just so good, so fucking good. Anyway, that's pretty much everything I wanted to talk about. Let me know your thoughts, and I'm out. Peace.